What you'll need is 3 pounds of ground beef, about 1 1/4 cups of cooked white rice, 2 large eggs, 2 medium heads of cabbage, about 64 ounces of sauerkraut, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 6 cans of tomato soup, and some water. Okay, so now let's get cooking.
Okay, to start off with, for stuffed cabbage, we're going to cut around the core and take that core out. So this way, when we put the head of cabbage into a pot of boiling water, the leaves will tend to separate a little easier. Okay, we're now going to place the cabbage into the boiling water. And as I said before, we're not putting it in the boiling water to cook it all the way through. We're just softening the leaves up so that they become pliable and easy to roll. And you kind of have to keep pushing them around in the water. I try to get the core down because that's the thickest part of the cabbage. So this will take a few minutes before we can start taking the leaves off. While the cabbage is simmering, we'll add our ingredients. We've got 1 medium onion, finely chopped. We'll add that. And then we have 1 1/2 cups of cooked rice. We'll add 2 eggs. Okay. Then next we have Worcestershire sauce. We'll do 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. This really is an optional ingredient. I like to add it, it gives it a little more flavor. And then we salt and pepper to your taste. And then comes the messy part. We mix all of the ingredients together, roll them. And this is pretty well mixed now. We're just waiting now for the cabbage leaves. Well, I forgot one ingredient, so forgive me, but we'll add it now. You take 1/2 a can of the tomato soup. And we'll mix that through some more. This makes the meat a little moister, and it's not so hard when it's fully cooked. It gives a little bit more flavor into the meat. So, right now I'm testing the cabbage to see if the leaves are starting to loosen up. We have one that's loose over here, and this one looks like it's ready to come up.
Robbie?
Just cut it up into pieces and like wedges, and put it in with the layers of sauerkraut and the cabbage rolls, and it'll just cook fine in there. Okay. We've removed the leaves from the cabbage, and now we're going to prepare the leaves for rolling. So the heavy core at the bottom of the leaf gets sliced off, and you flip it over, and you take a good spoonful of the chopped meat mixture, and then we'll just roll the cabbage. There we go. The leaf is cool enough now to handle. You roll it, and then you poke the ends in. And it makes one tidy little cabbage roll. And there we are, finished product. We'll come back. Okay, I placed 2 cans of tomato soup in the pot with 2 cans of water. You use equal amounts of water to the soup that you're putting in. Now we're going to put a layer of sauerkraut. Okay, we'll mix that in a little bit so it distributed pretty evenly. Now then we'll start placing in the cabbage rolls. We made about 30 to 35 cabbage rolls. And we're going to make a good layer. And once we put the one layer in, we'll put some more sauerkraut. And another thing, if you do have a little meat mixture left over, just drop it in as you would a meatball. So now we've got that one layer. We'll put some more sauerkraut. And I think we're going to need the other jar.
So that was 32 ounces? So
yeah, this was 32-ounce jar that we've used so far. And now I'm going to put some from another 32-ounce jar, and we'll just make a good layer of this. Okay. Here we go with the next layer.
So as you're layering them, tell our YouTube friends how easy it is to freeze this.
Oh, if you have a small family. Okay, we've made a nice layer again. And now we come to some more sauerkraut. I'm going to drain this part of the sauerkraut because there's quite a lot of juice in there.
Okay.
Okay, we put the rest of the sauerkraut. So actually we used 2 full jars, 32-ounce jars of sauerkraut. Make a nice even layer of the sauerkraut. And when you go to serve this, it tastes wonderful with a nice big bowl of creamy mashed potatoes. Everybody likes that. Okay. And now we're going to put some more tomato soup, just enough to cover the cabbage rolls. Don't forget, it's 1 can of tomato soup and a can of water. And then we're going to put it on the stove. Now you can cook this in the oven if you want to. I prefer top of the stove. So we're going to do two cans of tomato soup more. So actually we will end up using 5 cans. So that's 5 cans of soup, 5 cans of water. Okay. That barely covers the cabbage rolls. And now then you're going to let this on the stove for approximately 2.5 to 3 hours. When you feel that the cabbage is tender, and you can always take a cabbage roll out, open it up, and see if it's done to your... Now we put it on the stove, bring it to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, turn it down to simmer. You can put a lid on top, but every once in a while, come and check it, and take a wooden spoon, don't stir it, but ease it up from the bottom so that it's not sticking. And that's all there is to it until it's finished.